8310 public record says the Board of Education recognizes its responsibility to maintain the public records of the district, to maintain such records available to residents of New Jersey for inspection and reproduction. The board annually, so let me stop. It currently says the board designates the confidential secretary to the superintendent and his or her absence, the assistant superintendent, as custodian of government records for the district. So what has happened in the last, I don't know, 5 months or so, and it has been something that's been discussed with personnel, but because it's in our actual policy, I reached out to the attorney and I said that we'd like to go back. It was brought to my attention that up until, I guess, a couple of years ago, it did not designate a person. I believe that it did designate a person. I'm not going to name any names, but it had designated a person in the last couple of years before going to confidential secretary. I asked him to make sure that we were legally abiding by the law, and he said absolutely. So I would like to have a change to the board annually will designate the custodian of government records for the district and designate an individual to serve in the role of the custodian's absence. So what happens is it allows the superintendent and with, of course, the board actually through the superintendent to designate, to designate an individual rather than be the confidential secretary. Because what has happened is with the overwhelming plethora of requests and the specific requests, some of it has required now what has happened in the confidential secretary is part of the main office. She doesn't have her own space and she works at the request of me. And what's happening is something that she would hopefully be able to do either after hours, and she actually works tirelessly from home and so forth, has become such an overwhelming abundance of responsibilities. It cannot be designated any longer in the direct superintendent's office for the superintendent's confidential secretary, because we don't always work on a calendar. You know, the calendar's there, but I can have nothing on my calendar and not have a minute to breathe, and she works collaboratively with me. So by designating it in this role annually, it would allow an individual, and I will be speaking in personnel, and of course, once matters of personnel that have been solidified in public can then be mentioned what that would be. I'm also going to be working in tangent with one of our attorneys to discuss, you know, how would that be an appropriate person? Is that a position that gets posted? If it not get posted, how does it get onto a jobs description, so forth, but I'll make sure to follow protocol. I'm